July 27, 2021. The entire world held its breath. Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast who ever lived, stood at the edge of history. But what happened next would break her, and then save her. They called her weak, a coward, a disgrace. But what the world didn't know was that this girl had been fighting her entire life. And walking away from that vault, that wasn't her breaking point. That was her breakthrough. March 14, 1997. Columbus, Ohio. Simone Jade Biles was born into a world that wasn't ready for her. Not ready for her talent. Not ready for her strength. And certainly not ready to protect her. Her mother, Shannon Biles, was young. She was also battling addiction. Alcohol, drugs. The kind of battle that doesn't leave room for much else. Not even for 4 small children who needed her. Simone was the third of 4 kids. And by the time she was 3 years old, she had learned what it meant to be hungry. Not the hunger you feel before lunch. The kind of hunger that gnaws at your stomach in the middle of the night. The kind that makes you wonder if anyone is coming. The kind that makes you grow up before you even know what childhood is supposed to feel like. Subscribe for more stories of courage, faith, and the strength to rise again. Simone would later recall those early years with a kind of distant sadness. She remembered being scared. She remembered not understanding why her mom wasn't there. She remembered her older brother trying to take care of her and her younger sister. But mostly, she remembered the fear. The fear that no one was coming. The fear that this, the hunger, the uncertainty, the chaos, was all life would ever be. In the year 2000, when Simone was just 3 years old, the state of Ohio intervened. Child Protective Services removed Simone and her siblings from their mother's care. They were placed in foster care. Strangers' homes. New rules. New faces. And for a little girl who had already lost so much, it felt like the world was pulling her apart piece by piece. Foster care is supposed to be temporary, a bridge to somewhere safer. But for many children, it becomes a revolving door, a place where you learn not to get attached, not to hope too much, not to believe that anyone will stay. Simone spent years moving between homes, different families, different schools, different beds, and every time she started to feel safe, she was moved again. But in 2003, something changed. Simone's grandfather, Ron Biles, and his wife, Nellie, stepped in. Ron had been watching from a distance, heartbroken, ashamed that his own daughter couldn't care for her children, but determined to do something about it. He and Nellie lived in Spring, Texas. They had their own life, their own routine. But when they saw what was happening to Simone and her younger sister, Adria, they didn't hesitate. They flew to Ohio, and they brought the girls home. Ron and Nellie didn't just take them in. They adopted them, gave them their last name, gave them stability, gave them love. For the first time in her life, Simone had a home that wasn't temporary, a bed that was hers, a family that wasn't going anywhere. And slowly, the little girl who had learned to expect nothing began to hope. Ron Biles became the father Simone never had. Strict but loving, protective but empowering. He taught her that her past didn't define her, that the hunger, the fear, the instability, those were things that happened to her, not things that had to shape her. Nellie became her mother in every sense of the word. She braided Simone's hair, packed her lunches, sat at every parent-teacher conference. And when Simone would wake up in the middle of the night, scared that it was all a dream, Nellie would hold her and whisper, "You're safe now, you're ours, and we're not going anywhere." But even in the safety of her new home, Simone carried the weight of her early years. The abandonment, the instability, the feeling that she had to earn love, that she had to be perfect to be wanted. It's a weight she would carry for the rest of her life. A weight that would eventually nearly crush her. But before all of that, there was a day that would change everything. A day when a 6-year-old girl on a field trip walked into a gymnasium and discovered that her body could fly. It was supposed to be a normal daycare field trip, a way to burn off energy on a rainy afternoon. The kids filed into Bannon's Gymnastics in Houston, Texas, a local gym where young gymnasts trained. Most of the kids ran straight for the foam pit, jumped, laughed, played. But Simone stood still and watched. She watched the older girls on the balance beam, their pointed toes, their perfect lines, the way they moved through the air like it was the most natural thing in the world. And something inside her woke up. She didn't know what it was. She just knew she had to try. Without any instruction, Simone started copying what she saw. A cartwheel, a handstand, a backflip, movements she had never been taught. Movements most 6-year-olds wouldn't even attempt. But for Simone, it felt like breathing. Across the gym, a coach named Amy Borman was watching. She had been coaching gymnastics for years. She had seen thousands of kids come through that gym. But when she saw Simone, she saw something different. Raw talent, fearlessness, and something else. Something harder to define. Greatness. Amy walked over to Simone and asked, "Have you ever done gymnastics before?" Simone shook her head. "Would you like to?" Simone's eyes lit up. And just like that, a partnership began that would change the world. Amy sent a letter home with Simone that day. A note to her parents about enrolling in classes. When Nellie read it, she smiled. She had no idea what gymnastics would cost. The time, the money, the sacrifice. She just saw a little girl who had finally found something that made her eyes light up. And that was enough. Simone started training. At first, it was just 1 class a week. Then 2. Then 4. Within months, she was in the gym almost every day. And within a year, Amy Borman knew she had something special on her hands. Simone wasn't just good. She was extraordinary. She picked up skills faster than anyone Amy had ever seen. Her power was off the charts. She could jump higher than girls twice her age, flip faster, land cleaner. But more than that, she was fearless. When other kids hesitated before trying a new skill, Simone would just go for it. No second guessing. No fear. Just flight. By the time she was 8 years old, Simone was competing. Local meets at first. Small gyms. Modest crowds. But even then, people noticed. Judges would stop mid-conversation to watch her floor routine. Parents in the stands would pull out their phones. Who is that girl? Her name started spreading. Simone Biles. Remember that name. But success in gymnastics doesn't come easy. It requires sacrifice. Hours in the gym. Missed birthday parties. Missed sleepovers. A childhood spent training while other kids played. And for Simone, whose childhood had already been stolen once, it was a choice. She could have normal, or she could have greatness. She chose greatness. Ron and Nellie supported her every step of the way. Ron would wake up at 5 a.m. to drive her to practice. Nellie would pack her meals, make sure she kept up with schoolwork. They spent thousands of dollars on coaching, leotards, travel. Not because they were rich. They weren't. But because they believed in her. And because they had already failed one generation. They were determined not to fail this one. By the time Simone was 14 years old, she wasn't just a local phenomenon. She was a national one. She competed at the U.S. Classic, the P&G Championships. And she didn't just compete. She dominated. Judges had never seen power like hers, height like hers, precision like hers. She was doing skills that senior elite gymnasts struggled with. And she made them look easy. In 2013, at just 16 years old, Simone Biles won her first world championship. Gold in the all-around. Gold on floor. She stood on that podium, draped in the American flag. And the gymnastics world knew. A star had been born. Not just any star. A once-in-a-generation talent. The kind that comes around once, maybe twice, in a lifetime. But what no one knew was what it cost her to get there. The hours of pain. The injuries she hid. The pressure to be perfect. The fear of letting people down. Because by now, Simone Biles wasn't just competing for herself. She was competing for her family, for her coaches, for her country, and for every little girl who had ever been told she wasn't good enough. That's a lot of weight for a 16-year-old to carry. But Simone carried it, because that's what she had learned to do. From the time she was 3 years old, she had learned to survive, to push through, to smile even when it hurt. And now, the whole world was watching, waiting, expecting. And Simone Biles was just getting started. August 5, 2016. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Summer Olympics. The biggest stage in the world. And Simone Biles was ready. She was 19 years old, 4 foot 8 inches tall, and about to prove that size means nothing. Simone had spent the last 3 years dominating every competition she entered. 3 consecutive world championship all-around titles. 10 world championship gold medals. She hadn't lost an all-around competition since 2013. The pressure on her was immense. The world didn't just expect her to win. They expected her to be perfect. But Simone had learned to block out the noise, to focus on the routine, the skills, the execution. She trusted her training. She trusted Amy. And most importantly, she trusted herself. August 9, 2016. Team finals. Simone and the U.S. women's gymnastics team, nicknamed the Final Five, took the floor. And from the very first routine, it was clear. No one else stood a chance. Simone's vault was so powerful, so high, that it looked like she was defying gravity. Commentators called it unbelievable. Judges called it nearly flawless. The crowd couldn't stop cheering. Team USA won gold. By a landslide. More than 8 points ahead of second place. In gymnastics, where tenths of a point matter, 8 points is a lifetime. It wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. And Simone Biles was the face of it. But Simone wasn't done. Not even close. 4 days later, she competed in the individual all-around final. The most prestigious event in gymnastics. The one that determines who is the best in the world. And Simone was flawless. On vault, she soared. On bars, she swung with precision. On beam, she danced without fear. And on floor, she flew. Her floor routine brought the arena to its feet. She performed skills that had never been done before. A double layout with a half twist. So difficult, it would later be named after her. The Biles. When she finished, the gold medal wasn't a question. It was a foregone conclusion. Simone Biles, Olympic all-around champion. At 19 years old, the little girl from foster care, standing on top of the world. But she still wasn't done. 2 days later, she won gold on vault. The next day, gold on floor. And bronze on beam, her only slip of the entire games. 4 gold medals. 1 bronze. 5 medals total. The most decorated American gymnast at a single Olympics. And more than that, she had captivated the world. People who had never watched gymnastics watched Simone. Little girls wanted to be her. Brands wanted to sponsor her. The president wanted to meet her. Simone Biles wasn't just a gymnast anymore. She was a global icon, a superhero in a leotard, proof that no matter where you come from, greatness is possible. But behind the smile, behind the medals, behind the glory, Simone was carrying something the world couldn't see. A secret, a trauma, a weight that no amount of gold could lift. Because, while the world was celebrating her victory, Simone was quietly breaking. And it would take 2 more years before she would finally find the courage to speak. January 15, 2018. Simone Biles posted something on Twitter that stopped the world. It was a simple message, just a few sentences. But the weight of those words would change everything. She wrote, "Most of you know me as a happy, giggly, and energetic girl. But lately, I felt a bit broken, and the more I try to shut off the voice in my head, the louder it screams. I am not afraid to tell my story anymore. I too am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused around her." But speaking the truth didn't make the pain go away. If anything, it made it louder. The depression she had quietly battled for years became unbearable. She struggled to sleep, struggled to train, struggled to see a future beyond the pain. She would later admit, "There were days I didn't want to get out of bed, days I didn't want to live. I felt like I was drowning and no one could see it because I was still smiling." Her coaches noticed. Amy Borman, who had been with her since she was 6, saw the change. The light in Simone's eyes had dimmed. The joy she used to have in the gym was gone. But Simone kept going, because that's what she had always done. Keep going, keep pushing, keep surviving. Even when it was killing her, the world expected her to bounce back, to move on, to focus on the next competition. After all, she was Simone Biles, the greatest of all time. She didn't have time to be broken. She had medals to win. But what the world didn't understand was that Simone wasn't a machine. She was a human being who had been abused, abandoned, traumatized, and who was expected to perform like none of it mattered. In 2019, as we continue in this story, let us know how this story is impacting you. Comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. And then came Tokyo, the Olympics that were supposed to be her redemption, her victory lap, her final proof that she was unbreakable. But instead, Tokyo became the moment that broke her. July 2021. Tokyo, Japan. The 2020 Olympics. Delayed by a global pandemic. Held in empty arenas. No crowds. No cheering families. Just athletes and the crushing weight of expectation. And no one carried more weight than Simone Biles. The world had waited 5 years for this moment. 5 years to see if Simone could do it again. Could she repeat Rio? Could she win more gold? Could she prove that she was still the greatest? The headlines were everywhere. But behind the scenes, Simone was struggling. She couldn't sleep, couldn't quiet her mind. The trauma, the pressure, the expectations, they were crushing her. And this time, there was no escaping it. In interviews, she tried to sound optimistic, tried to sound ready. But those who knew her could see it. Something was wrong. She later admitted, "I felt like I was carrying the weight of the world. Everyone expected me to win, to be perfect, and I didn't know how to tell them that I was breaking." And then it happened. The twisties, a mental block that every gymnast dreads. A disconnect between the mind and the body, where you lose your sense of space. You don't know where you are in the air. You can't tell up from down. And if you land wrong, you could be paralyzed. Or worse. Simone had experienced the twisties before, but never like this. Never on this stage. She tried to push through, tried to train her way out of it. But the harder she tried, the worse it got. July 27, 2021. Team finals. The United States was heavily favored to win gold. And Simone was the anchor, the one everyone was counting on. She stood at the end of the runway, the vault in front of her, the world watching. She took a deep breath and ran. But midair, she lost herself. The vault she had done 1,000 times suddenly became foreign. She couldn't find the ground, couldn't orient herself. She under-rotated and landed badly. For a moment, the arena was silent. Simone stood there, staring at the vault. And then, she walked away. She pulled out of the team competition, withdrew from the individual all-around, withdrew from event finals. The greatest gymnast in the world was done, and the world exploded. The headlines were brutal. Simone Biles quits. Choke of the century. She let her team down. Mental weakness. Commentators questioned her toughness. Fans turned on her. Former athletes criticized her. One headline called her a selfish quitter. They said she couldn't handle the pressure, that she gave up, that she abandoned her team. They called her weak, a coward, a disgrace to the Olympic spirit. But what they didn't understand was that Simone Biles had just done the bravest thing she had ever done. She had chosen herself. In a press conference after her withdrawal, Simone tried to explain. She said, "I just felt like it would be a little bit better to take a back seat, work on my mindfulness. I didn't want to risk the team a medal because of my potentially not doing well." She also said, "We're not just athletes, we're people, and sometimes you just have to take a step back." But the mob didn't care. They wanted gold. They wanted dominance. They wanted the Simone they had seen in Rio. What they didn't want was a human being. A woman who was struggling, who was scared, who was protecting herself. But Simone didn't owe them an explanation. She didn't owe them a medal. She didn't owe them anything. Because the truth is, walking away from that vault wasn't weakness. It was survival. Simone later revealed just how close she had come to serious injury. She said, "If I had pushed through and competed, I could have landed on my neck. I could have been paralyzed. And for what? A medal." She had seen it happen before. Gymnasts who pushed through the twisties, who ignored the warning signs, and who paid the price with catastrophic injuries. Simone refused to be another statistic. She refused to sacrifice her safety for the world's entertainment. And slowly, the narrative began to shift. Athletes from other sports spoke up in her defense. Michael Phelps, who had battled his own mental health struggles, said, "We're humans, we're not robots, we have feelings, we go through things." Naomi Osaka tweeted, "I'm so proud of you, Simone." Even former First Lady Michelle Obama weighed in. "We are proud of you, and we are rooting for you." But even with the support, Simone was devastated. Not because she had let the world down, but because she felt like she had let herself down. Because for so long, gymnastics had been her escape, her identity, her proof that she was worth something. And now, it had become the thing that was breaking her. Team USA went on to win silver. And Simone was there, cheering, supporting, being the teammate she had always been. She even returned for one event final, the balance beam, and won bronze. A reminder that even at her lowest, she was still one of the best in the world. But that bronze medal wasn't about redemption. It was about proving to herself that she still could, that she wasn't broken beyond repair, that even in the darkest moment of her career, she was still Simone Biles. And when she stepped off that podium, she made a decision. She was going home, not to train, not to prepare for the next competition, but to heal. And for the first time in her life, Simone Biles put herself first. Not the medals, not the expectations, not the world, herself. And that decision would save her life. After Tokyo, Simone Biles disappeared. Not from the public eye entirely, but from the noise, from the pressure, from the constant demand to be perfect. She went home, and for the first time in over a decade, she stopped. No training, no competitions, no interviews, just silence. And in that silence, she began to hear herself again. Simone started therapy. Real, intensive therapy. Not just for the twisties, not just for Tokyo, but for everything. The foster care, the hunger, the abandonment, the abuse, the pressure, the trauma she had been carrying since she was 3 years old. She worked with therapists who specialized in trauma and PTSD, in the unique mental strain that elite athletes face. And slowly, piece by piece, she started to unpack the weight she had been carrying. She later said, "I didn't realize how much I had been pushing down, how much I had been ignoring. I thought if I just kept winning, kept smiling, kept moving forward, it would all go away. But it doesn't. Trauma doesn't go away just because you're good at gymnastics." Simone also started to set boundaries. She stopped reading the comments, stopped trying to please everyone, stopped letting the world dictate her worth. She unfollowed accounts that made her feel bad about herself. She limited her time on social media. She said no to interviews she didn't want to do. And she started to reclaim her life. One of the most important realizations she had during this time was this: she was more than a gymnast. For so long, her entire identity had been tied to the sport. Simone Biles, the gymnast. Simone Biles, the Olympian. Simone Biles, the gold medalist. But who was Simone without the medals, without the leotards, without the spotlight? She had to find out. She spent time with her family, cooked meals with Nellie, laughed with her sister Adria, went on dates with her boyfriend, NFL player Jonathan Owens. She traveled. She rested. She rediscovered what it felt like to just be. Not to perform. Not to prove. Just to exist. And it was terrifying. And liberating. And necessary. Simone also started speaking more openly about mental health. She partnered with organizations that supported athletes' mental well-being. She used her platform to destigmatize therapy, to normalize asking for help, to remind the world that athletes are human beings first. She said, "If sharing my story can help even one person feel less alone, then it's worth it." But even as she healed, there was a question that lingered. Would she ever compete again? Could she? Did she even want to? The sport had given her so much. Fame, success, a way out of poverty. But it had also taken so much. Her childhood, her innocence, her sense of safety. Was it worth going back? For months, Simone didn't have an answer. She stayed away from the gym, focused on her mental health. Let her body rest. Let her mind heal. And then one day, something shifted. She walked into a gym. Not her old gym, just a local one. She watched young gymnasts training, flipping, laughing, falling, getting back up. And she remembered why she fell in love with the sport in the first place. Not for the medals, not for the spotlight, but for the feeling of flying. Simone started training again. But this time, it was different. She wasn't training to prove anything to anyone. She wasn't training to meet expectations. She was training because she wanted to. Because it made her happy. Because when she was in the air, she felt free. She set boundaries with her training. If she needed a day off, she took it. If a skill didn't feel right, she didn't force it. If she needed to talk to her therapist, she did. She prioritized her mental health above everything else. And slowly, she started to feel like herself again. Not the Simone the world wanted, but the Simone she wanted to be. And then came the question everyone was asking. Would she compete again? Would she go for Paris 2024? The media speculated. Fans debated. But Simone stayed quiet. Because this time, the decision wasn't about anyone else. It was about her. In early 2023, Simone made an announcement. She was coming back. Not to prove the doubters wrong. Not to reclaim her title. But because she wanted to. Because she had unfinished business. Not with the world. With herself. And just like that, Simone Biles was back. But this time, she was whole. July 2024. Paris, France. The city of light. And Simone Biles was back. 3 years after Tokyo. 3 years after the world called her a quitter. 3 years after she chose herself. And now, she was ready to fly again. As we continue in this story, let us know how this story is impacting you. Comment, like and subscribe to this channel. But this Simone was different. She wasn't the wide-eyed 19-year-old from Rio. She wasn't the pressure-crushed athlete from Tokyo. She was a woman who had been through hell, who had faced her demons, who had healed, and who was now competing on her own terms. In interviews, journalists asked the same questions. Are you nervous? Do you feel pressure? What if you don't win? And Simone's answers were simple. I'm competing for me, not for anyone else, and that makes all the difference. July 30, 2024. Team Finals. The event that had broken her in Tokyo. But this time, Simone was ready. She stepped up to the vault. The same event that had haunted her. And she flew. The vault was perfect. The crowd erupted. Her teammates rushed to her. And Simone smiled. Not the forced smile of someone trying to hide pain, but the genuine smile of someone who had found joy again. Team USA won gold. Simone's first Olympic gold since Rio. But more than that, it was proof. Proof that she had come back. Not just to gymnastics, but to herself. August 1, 2024. The individual all-around final. The event she had withdrawn from in Tokyo. The one that had haunted her for 3 years. And now, she was back. She competed on all 4 events. Vault flawless. Bars precise. Beam confident. Floor electric. And when the scores came in, Simone Biles was once again the Olympic all-around champion. As we continue in this story, let us know how this story is impacting you. Comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. She stood on that podium, gold medal around her neck, hand over her heart as the national anthem played. And this time, the tears were different. They weren't tears of relief or validation. They were tears of gratitude. Gratitude that she had survived, that she had healed, that she had come back. Not for the world, but for herself. But Simone wasn't done. August 3, 2024. Vault Finals. The event she was named after. The Biles Vault, a Yuachenko double pike. So difficult, so dangerous, that most gymnasts won't even attempt it. But Simone, she owned it. She nailed it. Gold medal. Her third of the Paris Games. her 7th Olympic gold overall. And the crowd went wild. With 11 Olympic medals total, 7 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze, Simone Biles became the most decorated American gymnast in history. But the medals weren't the story. The story was the comeback, the healing, the courage it took to return, and the peace she found when she got there. After her final event, a reporter asked her, "What does this mean to you?" And Simone, with tears in her eyes, said, "It means that all the work I put in, not just physically, but mentally, has paid off. I'm not the same person I was in Tokyo. I've grown, I've healed, and I'm so proud of who I've become." She also said something that captured the heart of her journey. "I didn't come back to prove anyone wrong. I came back to prove to myself that I could, and I did." Simone Biles had done the impossible. She had fallen, been broken, been torn apart by the world, and she had come back, stronger, wiser, whole. She hadn't just won gold. She had won herself back. And that is the greatest victory of all. Simone Biles' story is not just a story about gymnastics. It's not just about medals, or world records, or Olympic glory. It's a story about survival, about resilience, about what it means to be human in a world that wants you to be perfect, and about the courage it takes to choose yourself. Simone's journey began in hunger, in fear, in instability. She was a little girl who didn't know if anyone was coming, who didn't know if she would be safe, who didn't know if she mattered. But someone came. Someone saw her. Someone gave her a chance. And she took that chance and changed the world. But even with all her success, Simone carried pain, the trauma of her early years, the abuse she endured, the pressure to be perfect. And for years, she smiled through it, competed through it, won through it, because that's what the world expected. But in Tokyo, she finally said, "Enough." As we continue in this story, let us know how this story is impacting you. Comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. And when she did, the world turned on her. They called her weak, a quitter, a failure. But they were wrong. Because walking away from what's destroying you is not weakness. It's the bravest thing you can do. Simone taught the world a lesson that day. She taught us that mental health matters, that athletes are human beings, not machines, that it's okay to not be okay, and that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is ask for help. But Simone's story didn't end in Tokyo. It transformed there. She went home. She healed. She did the work. The hard, painful, necessary work of facing her trauma, of learning to love herself, of discovering that her worth was not tied to a medal. And when she was ready, she came back, not for the world, for herself. And in Paris, she proved that healing is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new one. She won 3 more gold medals, became the most decorated American gymnast in history, and showed the world that you can fall and still rise again. But here's the most important part of Simone's story. She didn't come back the same. She came back better, stronger, wiser, more whole, because she had learned the most important lesson of all. You are not defined by your pain. You are defined by what you do with it. As we continue in this story, let us know how this story is impacting you. Comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. Maybe you're watching this right now, and you're in your Tokyo moment. Maybe you're drowning. Maybe you feel like you can't keep going. Maybe people are calling you a quitter because you chose to save yourself. Let Simone's story be your reminder. You are not weak for walking away from what's breaking you. You are brave. You are not a failure for prioritizing your mental health. You are wise. And you are not defined by the worst moment of your life. You are defined by what you choose to do next. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the part that makes your story worth telling. Because anyone can win when everything is going right. But it takes real strength to keep going when everything is falling apart. It takes real courage to ask for help, to admit you're struggling, to choose healing over performance. And it takes real faith to believe that even in your darkest moment, there is still light ahead. Simone Biles was hungry at 3 years old. She was in foster care. She was abused. She was broken in Tokyo. And yet, she is standing today. Whole, healed, golden. Not because she never fell, but because she got back up. And so can you. You are more than your worst day. You are more than your trauma. You are more than what people say about you. You are a survivor, a fighter, a comeback story in the making. And your story is not over yet. The world called her a quitter. But Simone Biles didn't quit. She chose herself. She healed. She returned. And she proved that the greatest victory is not the medal you win. It's the person you become. And Simone Biles became unstoppable. Not because she never broke, but because she put herself back together. And in doing so, she changed the world. This is the story of Simone Biles, a girl who was abandoned, who was hungry, who was abused, who was broken, and who rose. Not once, but twice. Because true strength is not never falling. It's getting back up. Every single time. Your comeback is not about them. It's about you. If you're struggling today, know this. You are not alone. You are not weak. And your story is not over. Keep going. Keep healing. Keep believing. Because the world needs your comeback. Just like it needed Simone's. Subscribe for more stories of courage, faith, and the strength to rise again.
Keep me